Hi faculty, this is the third video about rubrics, or how I'm going to appraise your performance as reflected in your annual performance report. And in this video I take you through the rubric for service extension and leadership or outreach. You should by now, if you've watched the other videos, understand the logic of what is going on. We have the evaluative criteria in this column: quantitative data, qualitative data, and rank order of weights. And these are the criterion that I'm going to look for, and the order of importance of these criterion, although two here, one here, and one major one here. Here's a formula for converting descriptors into values, into exceeds, meets, or fails to meet expectation. And here are the targets. Now, as you'll see, and I'm going to go through these, the efforts for service are consistent and of high quality. That is 60% of the weight for this category. The next one is workload is appropriate for percentage of effort. That is 20% of the weight. And then 20% of the weight is the level or location of service are appropriate for ranking experience. And what I mean by that is I feel we have too many assistant professors carrying larger loads, so I want the rank of the faculty, whether it's full professor, associate assistant, or college track, to correspond to service roles and locations of service. And we need more discussion here. But you'll see that if assistant professor is pulling more than he or she should based on his or her rank, that person should actually probably get higher than meets expectations here. So these are the three criterion. With the weights, I had this 40, 40, 20, and then I decided I don't want workload to count as much because I want quality to count more. But maybe we can rearrange these numbers here, but that's what I have for now. We have the quantitative data, and that's actually your participation and what you actually produce in the committee work or the service work that you do. And this is service extension, leadership, outreach. All of it that is put together. So if efforts are consistent of high quality, we will have the actual what the committee or what you did. If the workload is appropriate, we'll look at the time and the effort and make sure that that matches your percentage of effort. At each year, you have a goals and allocations of effort where you divide up your work into 100%, and usually it's 60% teaching, 30% research, and 10% service. That's the starting point. We just need to make sure that your workload matches your percentage of effort. So we'll look at the time. And then here we do have quantitative data. We can look at where you're actually serving and what that service entails and what the level of influence is. That does border on qualitative, but there's some quantitative there. We do have qualitative data. You can describe the work that you did. You can describe the focus and how it's connected to quality and what I call value added. Sorry if that's a business buzzword, but it's really important for organizations. Qualitative descriptions of how your workload matches or does not match your efforts, and qualitative descriptions of how the service is at the appropriate level. Okay. So these are the additive parts. Then this is my rank order of weights or the criterion. I want high quality efforts instead of placeholder first. And so when you're writing this up, you can think of that. And then consistent attendance and participation second. And here I only have one criteria, that you have prioritize and balance matching of workload to percentage of efforts. You know my frustration, and I'm not blaming anyone. We're all kind of caught in this cycle of too much service that exceeds our percentage of effort. I want us to be strategic and actually better at balancing that. So that's what I'm looking for. Here I'm looking for full professors need to serve at all levels, especially at the levels that have the greatest impact. And that might not be the department, or that might be at the department. Associate professors, Department of College and local community, if applicable. Assistants, I really want our assistants, their level and location reduced, preferably connected to research. I probably won't get my wish, but that's my desire. College track should be department, college, and university. But if you want outreach or extension, that's wonderful. So college track, you can go where you want here. Your service is usually at 10% like most of us, but if you want to add more service, you can. This is not fleshed out very well because we haven't talked about this much, but I want a conversation. Okay. Now let's go to the formulas. If here on this first one, if your participation is consistent and you have consistent efforts towards quality, you meets expectations. I can add or subtract 1 to 20 points on that. And that's the qualitative, both qualitative and quantitative. So, whoops, I made a mistake here. That should be 20. Here, workload and rank order data match percentage of effort equals 20. Add and subtract 1 to 10 points there. And here, rank corresponds to level of influence equals 20. And you can have and subtract 1 to 10. And this is the qualitative arguments about where you are. One of the reasons why I pulled this from 40 to 20 is I don't want to encourage people to work more than what their percentage of effort says they should work. And so that's why I pulled that back down, because I want us to be more strategic in our work. Anyway, these add up to 100 if you meet expectations, and you'll see the final score meets expectations is 80 to 119, fails to meet is 79 or below, and exceeds is 120 plus. Okay, let's go to optimization, and this is where I want to push. Here's an optimization, and I gave some ranges. Adds value to existing processes and products. I still believe that many of our processes are based on an organizational culture of mistrust. In Spanish, we say desconfianza. And I recognize that because working in Latin America with high levels of desconfianza, there are multiple processes and actors. And what that does is it is to ensure equal voice for the people who are involved, and it's to ensure that there's no abuse, there's no corruption, there's no bias, and there's no favoritism. We can cut some of these processes in half if we can develop a better process that isn't burdened by so many people involved and so many checks and balances that create really high what we call transaction costs, way too much cost for what it gives us. And so if you can add value to that process, which means if you can clear some of that, and you can see I'm going into the next criterion as well. If you can add value to existing to make the value better, then there's a 10 or 20% optimization. The next one specifically is reduce workloads, and I just talked about that. I think I mixed the two up, but you can argue that what you did is to reduce the workload or process while maintaining or improving quality. We're going to optimize that, and I want to incentivize both of these, and those are pretty hefty values right here. 10 to 20% to be added on. There's an optimization if your service is related to research or teaching, you can add 10%, and optimization if it supports NMSU's land grant mission, it's 10%. So as you know, I will add up these, give you a preliminary score, add the optimization score, and then it will be right here. The final result will be in this category. Now, when I was doing this and making these videos, I realized that I forgot to put the ceilings in. The ceilings are here on all of the three, each of the three, there's going to be a ceiling of 180. And I want to make sure that someone can't go way out on a scholarship, for example, and have enough points to not even do any service. So we're going to have a ceiling on every one that you can clearly exceed expectations, but only by 60 points. Anyway, I hope this helps. this one feels not quite as clear to me, and so it might need more work. I don't know, but I look forward to your comments, and hopefully this helps you and helps you write up your APR as well. Thank you.